I'm Amy Duckworth from Empower Admissions Consulting, and welcome to Inside Admissions. Today I'm joined by Chris Healy from Alliance Manchester Business School. Welcome, Chris.
Hi, thank you for having me, Amy.
My pleasure. So can we just start off by finding out a bit more about you? What's your role at Manchester Business School and how long have you been there?
Yeah, of course. So my name's Chris Healy. I head up MBA recruitment and marketing across the suite of MBA programs at Alliance Manchester Business School. So we have a full-time MBA program and two professional MBA programs aimed at working professionals. So our online blended global MBA program and a global executive MBA. I've worked in business education for over 15 years. And you know, I often say to candidates, the two things that I still really love about my role is speaking to two types of individuals. One would be an individual who does not necessarily know what an MBA is, and the objective there is just to try and to help them understand what an MBA is, what the value of an MBA is, not necessarily what the value of the Manchester MBA is, but the value of the MBA
more generally.
qualification. And then the second thing I genuinely like to do is to speak to the Manchester MBA applicants at interview stage. So these are people who have spent a lot of time researching programs to a great length, and they've decided that the Manchester MBA is one of the programs that they want to apply for. And I still, you know, every day when I do speak to those candidates, I thoroughly enjoy it and find it interesting and insightful.
Yeah, that's really great, and I guess you've got that ongoing variety in your role, which I suppose has kept you there for so long.
Indeed.
So we're going to start off with some rapid fire questions, and then we're going to do a deep dive and talk about one particular aspect of your application, and then we're going to finish off with some myth busting. Is that okay?
Sounds good. We're going to test my knowledge on these quick fire questions because I've not seen them.
Yes, we are. We are going to test your knowledge. Okay, so it's 10 rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Shoot.
Right, we're focusing on your full-time MBA program.
Okay.
Okay. So, length of your program?
15 or 18 months. About 60 to 70% will take the 18 months and the rest will take the 15 months.
Okay. Average cohort size?
Between 100 up to 110, 113 this year, but about 100, I would say.
Okay. Number of years work experience required?
3 years.
And the percentage of international students in the cohort?
This year it is high, it's at 95%.
Oh, wow.
We generally aspire for it to be about 85%.
Okay. Age of the oldest and the youngest candidate in your last cohort?
So in this cohort, 23 being the youngest and the oldest being 43.
Mm-hmm. And what is the average GMAT or GRE?
So the majority of our students still opt for the GMAT, and on the traditional test, the average score was about 650.
Okay. And do you require a personal or a video interview as part of your admissions process?
So there's a video essay during the admissions or during the application stage. And then after that, there will be an interview, yes, whether it's in person or on Zoom, Teams, etc.
And what is the question that you get asked the most during the interview stage or the admissions process in general?
So one of the questions often asked at interview stage is about Manchester and the UK, because if you think there's so many international students from all over the world. They've got a wealth of MBA programs, world-class MBAs from all over the world that they can choose. They've selected Manchester as one of the programs that they want to apply for. So they're often asking a lot of questions, A, about the UK, and B, which is more, in this case, which is most important, is about moving to Manchester and what the city is like.
Final two questions. Who is the chair of your admissions committee?
The chair of our admissions committee is Helen Dowd, who is our admissions director.
And final question, can you tell me a particularly successful or a famous alum of your programme?
Okay, who are we going to go with? I'm going to pick someone who is actually, she dropped me an email last week, and she is Director of Operations at Waymo in San Francisco. So for those of you who don't know who Waymo are, they are the autonomous vehicle arm of Google.
Okay, brilliant. So we're now going to move on to the deep dive section of our interview, and I'd like to talk about your career planning essay. So on the Manchester MBA application, you've got 2 essay questions, and the second one is about career planning. So can you tell me, why is it so important for business schools to have a good understanding of what a candidate's career goals are?
So this is important for the candidates and the business school / admissions committee for a number of reasons. If I look at Manchester, for example, we want all of our students to secure a return on investment after they enrol on our MBA program. I think that's the case for most top business schools. But every school have different operating models. So for example, the full-time MBA in Manchester, it's not there for commercial reasons. Alliance Manchester Business School is incredibly successful commercially, but the full-time MBA is not there for that reason. The full-time MBA at Manchester is our flagship program, and being the flagship program, what we're looking for is to recruit some of the best students from all over the world who will go on to achieve excellent careers. So we are very much focused on what ROI can that individual will that individual, or realistically what they can achieve.
Yeah.
And why do I say all of this? And in terms of advice for applicants, with that, I think it's important for candidates to be realistic, to be authentic, and to be confident about their previous experience when they're looking at that question, when they're working on their essays.
And what are you looking for in the essay responses?
Yeah, so what we're looking for there, I think, are those 3 points: to be realistic, to be authentic, and to be looking at to be confident with their previous experience. And the reason I say that is, let's take realistic as the first example. I'm hosting a webinar next week, and I've got one of the alums from McKinsey who's going to be speaking. That's great. He's achieved what he wanted to achieve. Another person that's going to be on that panel is working for Jaguar Land Rover in the automotive industry. Mm-hmm. Again, he's achieved what he was looking for. But going back to that McKinsey point, if everyone is saying they want to work for McKinsey, that's not realistic. There's no MBA program in the world that is sending all of their students to McKinsey. So it is important for individuals to be realistic when they're writing their career aims in these essays. And in the same breath as being realistic, that's why I also think being authentic is very important. I often believe many candidates are writing in that part of the essay, they're writing what they think admissions committees or what they think business schools want to hear.
Not what they genuinely kind of want to achieve.
Exactly. So, if someone does want to go into venture capital and private equity, that's fine. Granted, that is the hardest sector to get into post MBA. but it can work for a number of people. But I also think, that's just one example of something I continuously see on applications. And you think, when you delve into it at interview stage, you think, well, actually, it doesn't seem that this person does know much about that industry, that sector, and what it is that they're going to get out of it. It's like that they've read something online to say, well, yes, MBA students, VC, PE, etc. Changing sector, changing function, changing location, that's a big driver for people wanting to do an MBA. If I draw it back to Manchester momentarily, 62% of our students changed sector, 54% changed function, 80% changed location, 30% did the triple jump in our last employment report. So we understand that people are looking to change, and that's fine, but be authentic in what that change is. And then the final point is that point I made about confidence, being confident about your past experience. Not every single person who comes on an MBA is doing it to change industry and function, or they might just be looking to change one of those things. So always think, be confident of those skills you already have. What skills can you utilize post MBA that you already have? Can you utilize your own network? And I think having that confidence in what you've already accomplished can help you in those essays as well.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant advice for tackling those career questions on the application form. So yeah, thank you for sharing your insights, Chris. We're going to finish off with some myth busting. So I've got 3 myths about MBA admissions, and I'm looking for a yay or a nay from you. Okay, myth number 1. If you get rejected, there's no point reapplying.
Nay, but do not get rejected. How to avoid not getting rejected? Reach out to recruitment admissions teams. Have a one-on-one consultation with them. Send them your CV. Take their advice. People like myself will only want you to apply if we genuinely believe you've got a chance. If we think you need more experience, we will say that. And that would help you then to say, okay, maybe I need to apply for an MBA next year.
Okay, yeah. Question number 2, getting an endorsement letter from an alum or a student will help you get admission.
Nay. If I think about all of our applications, maybe about 10%, 15 max will come with an alumnus endorsement.
And final one, you need to prepare a different CV for your MBA application compared to the one you would use for a job application.
Nay. Well, I'm going for nay there anyway. I think you might get a different answers on that, but it's a nay from me. We are very adept and experienced at looking at people's CVs. So do we need it to be tailored? No. There are things you need to consider. Don't send 5-page CVs, but I'm not a believer as well that you need to send a 1-page CV to apply for an MBA program. I know many do. A couple of pages, in my view, is fine. Plenty will disagree.
Okay, I'll have to ask a few more people that so we can get a balance for you. But thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for joining me, Chris. It's been great talking to you. If you want to know more about the Manchester MBA, you can find lots of videos on MBA Tube. There are testimonials, there's information about faculty, the programme, and lots more. So do go and have a look at those. And for guidance on all things admissions, you can follow Empower Admissions Consulting, or you can reach out to us for one-to-one guidance on your MBA applications. And that's all for today. Thank you.